This is tutorial 2-1, creating point and polygon maps using qualitative attributes in the GIS Tutorial 1 basic workbook. In this tutorial, you're going to get more experience adding data as well as labeling it. You're also going to get some experience changing the symbology of different kinds of layers, like points, lines, and polygons. We're going to start this tutorial off by launching the program, and when you get to the Getting Started window, you're going to click on Browse for More. This is going to bring us to our My Exercise Chapter 1 folder. So we're going to have to hit the up one level. We're going to have to click it again to get to the main GIST1 folder. And then we're going to go into the Maps folder. Then you're going to click on the Tutorial 2-1 MXD and click Open. You're going to have a blank document. We're going to go up to our Save As shortcut, and if you didn't add this, you can always go up to File and Save As. But I'm going to use my shortcut. I'm going to drop the drop-down menu, go up to GIST1, go into My Exercises, go into the Chapter 2 folder, and then click Save. Now, why are we opening up a blank document? Well, there is a reason to this. If we double click on layers, but if we go to coordinate systems, you can see that they've already set a coordinate system for this. Now, when you open up a blank map document, the coordinate system is undefined until you add your first layer or you assign it yourself. They went ahead and assigned it for you, so you don't have to worry about it, because coordinate systems are a little bit more advanced for the first few chapters. So they wanted to wait until you get further into the book before bringing that up. So that's why you're opening up map documents that appear to be blank. So I'm just going to hit cancel. Then I'm going to go up to our add data button and click on it. And this brings us to the last place we added data from, which for me was the United States Geodatabase. So I'm going to have to use the up one level, and that will bring me back to the data folder. So then I'm going to look into the New York City Geodatabase, and I'm going to find the neighborhoods layer, and it is in alphabetical order, so it's right here. Then I'm going to click Add, and right off the bat they want us to change the symbology for this. Right now we have a purple fill with a gray outline, so what they want us to do is in the table of contents, they want us to click on the little color symbol here to open up the symbol selector. Then they want us to choose the hollow symbol. As you can see over here, all that did was assign no color value to the fill color and made the outline color black. But they want us to go a little bit further, and they want us to change the outline width to 1.15. Now you have to type this in. Normally, you can just go 1, 2. These do not do decimal places at all. Once you have the symbology set to an outline with 1.15 and no fill color and a black outline, you just click OK. Now we're going to open up the properties for neighborhood. So you can right click and go to properties if you want, or you can just double click it and that'll work as well. I prefer that. It seems to go a little bit quicker. They want us to go to the Labels tab. So we're going to do quite a few things. The first is we're going to check the label features in this layer box. This will turn the layers on. Then we're going to confirm that the label field is set to name, and we're going to increase the font size to 10. We're going to move this over and click Apply. As you can see, it's a little cluttered, and even for the ones that we can see, it's a bit difficult because of the black outline. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Symbol, Edit Symbol. We're going to go to the Mask tab. We're going to use a halo, and they only want us to use one that is a little bit smaller, so it's going to be 1.5. So we're going to click OK, OK, and they want us to click OK again. It still seems like quite a bit of clutter for me, but we're not going to be working at this extent. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Bookmarks and Lower Manhattan. The labels are much more manageable at this extent. For the your turn, they want us to add the water feature from the New York City geodatabase. So we're going to open it up, and we're already in our New York City geodatabase. So I've just added it. As I stated before, when you're working with polygons, the newest polygon is put on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on water, and I'm going to bring it under neighborhoods. And then I'm going to make it blue with no outline. Now, if your outline width is set to 0, that's the same as choosing no color for the outlined color. And we've added our water. Now we're going to go into water, and we're going to label it. We're going to set the label field to land name, which it already is set. We're going to change the font family to Times New Roman. So you can scroll down until you get to the T's. We're going to make it a 12. We're going to make them bold and italic. Then we're going to click OK. And now our water bodies are labeled: East River, Upper New York Bay, and Hudson River. You may have noticed that the polygons don't match up very well. That's because they could have come from different sources. They could have come from different times. A lot of these are, you can see, like piers. They could have redone these, and some of these might no longer exist, or new ones have been put in. It's very difficult to say which is which, so you'd really have to dive into the information about where this data came from to find the answers for that. We're going to add another layer, so we're going to go to our Add Data button, and we're going to add the zoning land use. Now we're going to change the symbology for zoning land use, but we have to do it a different way than we have been doing it, because we're going to create a symbology based on an attribute. So we have to go into the properties, and we're going to go to the Symbology tab. Now, we could have gone and done this for the other ones and changed the color just like this. The way we've been doing it is kind of like a shortcut. So now we're going to change from all features are using the same symbol to categories. And we're going to be using the unique values option. There are others available, but we're going to be using this one. Then you're going to change the value field to land use, and then you're going to click Add All Values. Once we have our properties window looking like this, you're going to want to find the Battery Park City, which is the first one, and you're going to click on the symbol for that, and you're going to change the fill color to Apple Dust, which is right here. It's in column 6, row 7. And we're going to change the outline to a 30% gray. They don't tell us to change the width of the outline, so I assume they want us to keep the default 0.4. So I'm just going to click OK. They want us to repeat this for all the other unique values using the colors indicated in the book. So I'm just going to pause and go ahead and do those, just so you don't have to watch me do it. Now I've gone in and I've changed the colors as the book wanted me to. And the one thing I really want to point out is when you add unique values, it's done alphabetically. So it's not always going to be in the order you want. And the biggest point for this is the manufacturing, because we go heavy, light, medium, which is an odd way to arrange it. So you have to be very careful when you do this, because you might have to go in and change the order that your legend is so it flows more logically. So now I'm going to click OK. And as you can see, our map is very different now. You can see that the masks are really helping in preventing the colors from the zoning land use from washing them out. The labels for the water can be kind of washed out in some areas. We're going to go back into the properties for zoning land use, and we're going to the labels tab. We're going to check it, and we're going to change the label field from name to zone. We're going to change the size from 8 to 6. We're going to give it a color of 60% gray and click OK. Now you can't really see them from here, but I'm assuming that this would be either an interactive map, or they would go in closer and take smaller segments and have multiple maps. Now it took us, well, it probably took you a while to assign all the colors. It took me a little bit. So there are predefined ones. If we click on the park color, it'll open up the symbol selector. And we can go to style references, and you're going to want to scroll down until you get to civic. Click on that, choose OK. And here we have the title for it. So if we scroll down, you can find one that's for parks in open space. And this is used by many industries. It's a very quick way of doing it. And you have other land uses here. You have airport, fruit and vegetable agriculture, golf and recreation, public safety, business services, financial services, condemned, lien property, city-owned, and many more. And you also have some other ones here for residential estates with a certain kind of code. So feel free to explore these. I'm going to go back into style references and uncheck this so it doesn't clog up my symbol selector. So I'm going to hit OK. And while I have this window open, I can come up here and type in park. And this will look in all the style references. And if I come down to civic, it's right there. So sometimes just typing it into the search function can really help, because this will search all styles if you want, or just the ones that you have checked. So I'm going to click this. This is going to clear my search. Then I'm just going to hit cancel so no changes go in. We're going to add a new layer, and it's going to be facilities. So I'm going to go up to my add data, and it's an F, so it's over here, and I'm going to click add. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on facilities to open up the properties, and we're going to go to the definition query tab, and then we're going to click on the query builder. Now in the future, if you ever get really experienced with these, you can just type it in here. One nice thing though about just this screen right here is if you use the same queries over and over again, you might have them pasted in a Word document or a text document where you can just quickly copy and paste them. But we're going to be using the query builder. Double click up here in the top window, facility_T. So you're going to have to scroll down until you see it. And as you can see, there are facility N, facility A, so it's right under zip. So I'm going to double click that, and it appears in our equation box. Then I'm going to use the equal sign as the logical operator. Then we're going to click Get Unique Values. You're going to find the 4901. Now you could scroll down, but as you can see, there's quite a bit, but they're in order, so it's not too bad. But if you knew the value, I could just type in 49, and it brings me right to it. Obviously, there are 4902, so it just kind of brings you there a lot quicker. Now, I know this is a numeric value because you don't see any quote signs enclosing the value. If there were quote signs, that would mean that this is a string value. Now, we're not done. They want us to look at other code values as well. So I'm going to use the OR function. I'm going to double click facility T again, equals, and they want us to choose 4902. So I'm going to do that. And then they want us to do it again, so it's OR again, facility equals, and this time 4903. Now the reason we use the OR is because an attribute field can only have one value per record. If I were to use the AND operator, you would get an error because there would be no feature that has a value of 4901 and 4902 in the facility underscore T. So you would use the AND statement only if you were looking into two or more different fields. You use the OR operator when you're looking for multiple values within the same field. I'm going to click OK, and this is what our equation is going to look like, and then I'm going to hit apply. And you can see that it got rid of a lot of the points on our map. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to go over here and open up the attribute table. And you can see that we have 631 features. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to delete this, hit OK, open up the attribute table. So we went from over 20,281 to be exact, features down to 631. Now, the book had us use 3 statements combined using OR operators. I'm going to show you how to do this using just one. So we would do the facility underscore T, then I would do a space, and then capital I, capital N, open parentheses. I'm going to highlight facility underscore T just so I can get the unique values. I'm going to go down to the 49's values, and I'm going to add the 4901, comma, 4902, comma, 4903. Then I'm going to close my parentheses and click OK. I'm going to click OK again. I'm going to open up the attribute table, and I have the 631. Now this is a more simple expression than the other one was. Now imagine if you had to look up 10 or 20 values. That OR statement chain would get very, very long, and you're more likely to make a mistake or forget a value. With this, I can quickly see what values are being included. So I prefer using this method when I'm looking for values within a single attribute field. We're going to go back into the properties for our facilities, and we're going to go to the Symbology tab. We're going to go to Categories, Unique Values, and we're going to use the facility type underscore 1 field. Unfortunately, these are not in alphabetical order, so you might have to go through, but these are all the way down here at the very bottom. Then you're going to hit Add All Values, and then you're going to double click the symbol beside Food Pantry. And that's going to open up the symbol selector. And they want us to change it to the Esri symbol square 1, which is just basically this one right here. And up here it says this is the Esri category. They want us to change the size from 18 to 12. Click OK. Then they want us to double click the joint soup kitchen. They want us to find the cross symbol 2. So cross 2, and once again, this is going to be a size of 12. For the last one, they want us to use circle 1 with a symbol size of 12. We're going to clear the checkbox beside all other values, because as you can see over here for the zoning land use, it's right up here. It's kind of annoying. I prefer not to have it, and as you can see, nothing's in it. So we're going to click OK. You can see that the symbols have changed on the map. There seem to be a lot more squares than anything else. I'm going to go into zoning land use real quick. If I do a count up here, it will tell you how many of each land use zoning is in each category. There's nothing in the all other values, so I'm going to just uncheck that, because in a legend that could be confusing. Now, all of these facilities deal with some kind of food. What we're going to do is we're going to rename it. Now, I don't know if they skipped this or forgot to incorporate it in an early chapter, but how do you rename a feature? Well, you just come over here and you can click on it once to highlight it, wait a second, and then click it again. And that will allow you to edit it. You can also right-click it and go to Properties, go to the General tab, and you can rename it here as well. So I'm going to call it Food Facilities, and then click OK. Now, in the picture that they have, they do not show the field that this is coming from. If you were to put this in a legend, people might pay too much attention to this weird value than the actual information on the map. So to get rid of that, we're just going to click on it once to select it, wait a second, then click on it again. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard, and now it is no longer there. I could do the same thing with land use, but people looking at that would understand what that means. We're going to go back into the properties window. We're going to go to label. We're going to label this field. We're going to use the facility _n as the label field. We're going to make it a size 6. We're going to make the color a fur green text, which is right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, column 7. Row 6. And we're going to use a white halo, so I'm going to go into Symbol, going to Edit Symbol, go to Mask, and just choose Halo. I'm assuming they don't want us to change the size of the halo, so I'm just going to hit OK and see how that works out. We're going to add one more layer, so we're going to go up to Add Data, and this time it's going to be a line feature. Now, if you know what kind of feature it is, if it's a point or a polygon or a line, you can kind of find it a lot quicker by looking for the symbol. All polygons will look like this, will kind of look like this, and then your points will look like this, and your lines will look like this. So if you open up a geodatabase and you see a lot of polygons and you know you're looking for a line, sometimes it's a lot quicker just looking for the symbol and then checking the name. So Manhattan Streets is right here. We're going to click Add. We're going to give this one a very generic color, so we're just going to click on the line. We're going to give it a 40% gray. Click OK. That way you can see them, but they're not sticking out. Now that was the last feature that we've added to our map. And as you can see, it's following the order of draw for points, lines, and polygons. Even though it was the last feature added, it was not placed above points. Points are always at the top of the map document when added. A line feature will always be added right under points and above polygons. And polygons are always added right beneath the lines. So we're zoomed out a little bit. So how can we zoom in? They want us to zoom into the lower east side, which is right here. We could use our tools and create a box, but what I want to do is I want to use the select tool. I'm going to go list by selection, and I'm only going to make neighborhoods selectable. And I'm going to click on the lower east side. Now it's highlighted. I'm going to go up to selection, and I'm going to zoom to selected features. And that zoomed me right in. I'm going to clear my selection. And just in case we have to select anything later on, I'm going to turn those on and go back to my list by drawing order. We got a little bit more practice using zoom by selection. Now we're going to label our roads, so I'm going to double click on Manhattan Streets to open up the Properties window. I'm going to check the box that makes the labels come on, and I'm going to make sure that Streets is set for label field. Going to set the size to 6, and I'm going to have the color 70% gray because I want it on there, but I don't want it sticking out too much and drawing attention away from the more important things. Now you're going to click the placement properties, and you're going to do the conflict detection, and you're going to select low for label weight. This determines whether the labels in this layer can be overlapped by labels from another layer. The higher the weight, the less likely the labels are being overlapped. We're going to click OK, and then OK again, and then we're going to save our map. I recommend, since we've started this this chapter, we've done a lot, and things can always come up that can cause you to lose the program. Your computer can crash, the program can crash, power outages. There are a number of things that can go wrong. So I would recommend maybe like every page saving your map document. That concludes this video.